Hello and welcome to a game of Dota 2. We are watching StarSeries. We are in the 7th season and we are in day 7. Empire will take on Menace for the first game of 5 that we'll see today. And Empire is the one that gets second pick and is on the dire side, while Menace was able to snatch up the Naga Siren as the first pick. And will be on the Radiant side also. We have got Bet and Io banned out, two heroes that we don't see that much of, though yesterday they did make a showing. But still very heavily banned by everybody. And for the other two bans, well, it's been a bit more loose than we have seen in the past. We have now an Abaddon banned out as well as an OD. Still, it's all still in the same theme, of course. I mean, there's no longer the tree that is dead present anymore, but there is the Abaddon, there's the Timbersaw, there's all those tanky heroes that are getting picked up a lot lately that are just hard to deal with. And Weaver gets picked up. Okay, I know he's not a very tanky hero, but still pretty difficult to deal with, of course. He is gonna be running around like a lunatic, hitting everybody and being invisible again, and invisible again. At least that is what he does if he gets his way, which is something that Menace is not gonna let happen, or at least attempting to not let happen. Menace has picked up the Naga Siren, so very open pick so far. Of course, also a very strong pick. It has got a lot of control. Like, this is basically a hero that has got an ensnare that goes through BKB, so what else do you want? Even though, of course, Weaver already picked up by Empire. Weaver is a hero that likes to go for Lincolns, so in that case, Naga Siren maybe not that effective. But, I mean, the song is gonna be there, and late game, that's basically the best thing that you can have in terms of disengaging, and maybe engaging as well, depending on what else they are gonna get for it. We have a Bane pickup by Empire, so that's a very nice support. It's a bit of an anti-carry support that you can assume. Maybe we're gonna see Empire trying to go for a bit of a later game plan. And that's sometimes an indication by banning or picking up the Bane. Nature's Prophet by Menace will be picked up. Spin will probably take that one on. And also still, I mean, it's very open for all heroes that we see often. Of course, Menace, Naga Siren, we're gonna assume that he is gonna be playing as support. And Weaver for now, I mean, he can still play a carry role, can still play an offlane role. And we've even seen Weaver mid. But Menace at first, still of course a strong support that was still in the pool. And we still have a couple of tanky heroes in there. We have got a Timbersaw, of course, removed. And Mag, he does not want to face that one. I mean, who does, really? Nobody does. And Nature's Prophet can, of course, help the Timbersaw slightly by just putting more trees on the lane. And that's something that Timbersaw can use, of course, in a fight a lot. Even though it could be counterproductive if you clear out the trees and you have someone sprouted, but again, it can help out. We have got a also Shadow Fiend banned out as a Darkseer, so that means that Menace is kind of assuming that Weaver is going to be taking on a carrier's role here, or at least a core role in terms of having supports with him. Darkseer removed. Just an offlane remove. We still have Empire picking up Clockwork. Now we know that actually, like, not Empire as a team, but Mag likes Clockwork as also as a support. Vanscore played it a lot when he was in his previous team together with Yol. He was not actually the one that played the Clockwork, but they did play Clockwork as support often. So who knows? Maybe there's going to be a possibility that we'll see that, and otherwise Mag will probably take on the Clockwork for the offlane. I like the Leshrac pickup. I think yesterday we saw him, and I think at that point I said, wow, we haven't seen Leshrac in ages, and I love to see him making a comeback. I mean, he's got himself a Split Earth, of course, combines great with Naga Sirens and Snare, and on the lane, it's very strong. It is indeed very strong.
5 seconds remaining.
And I'm hoping that we're going to see an aggressive tri lane, but I guess with the Nature's Prophet, I don't know for sure if that's going to happen. Nature's Prophet probably doing a better job on the offlane / jungle. We'll see. We can only hope for now, of course, as we have an Enigma pickup, so team fight all around for both teams. I mean, so far you have the Naga Siren song that is, of course, great for team fight, and she can set up for a lot of things. Just for Leshrac to maybe stand in the middle with Nova Edict on. I mean, that alone is pretty strong. Nature's Prophet, I mean, the team fight is not that strong in terms of control, but his Nature's Wrath definitely not something to count out completely. But Empire, of course, now with an Enigma on their side, knowing that the two supports, or that Menace has picked up their two supports, basically, assuming that Naga Siren and Leshrac will be their supports, so no fear over Rubik picked up. I mean, Rubik, who is basically the enemy of the Bane and the Enigma. Of course, you can steal the Phoenix Grip very easily on, because it's a channel spell. You can steal the Black Hole, and there is a hero that is basically a bit of a newer face. Storm Warlord picked up, so we have got attack speed, and oh my god, is the pushing potential on Menace now scary. I mean, Leshrac already has his edict, and his towers will go down very, very very fast. So you have a Nature's Prophet with there, you have Naga Siren Illusions. This is scary, and the reason why I say that only one Stroll gets picked up is because of his ultimate, Berserker's Rage. I mean, it attack speed for everybody, and it is scary. Oh, by the way, people, Vikermond will join. He is just rebooting his Skype, and look at that. I like speak of the devil. I just mentioned you, and you come back. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Let's talk about Troll Warlord.
Yeah. Instantly, you want to ditch your breakfast and put yourself in the game.
That is precisely correct. I'm actually kind of sad that that Empire could actually use Troll too, but I really like this pickup here. I think it's a really neat choice for their one position. One thing about Troll is if you're already running sort of a pushing or split pushing lineup, Troll can just absolutely blow the game open with the power of that ultimate. Even though it's been nerfed, as long as your Nature's Prophet has a good early game, or at least it doesn't even have to be a good early game, it just can be a decent early game with a normal Shadow Blade timing, you could just blow people's backcourt apart. Like, teams have this conception of how long they should leave a Nature's Prophet in a lane before they TP someone back to deal with it, and Troll messes with that because he almost doubles the speed at which the Nature's Prophet can just backdoor your entire base.
Yeah, Menace, I mean, all around, they're looking pretty scary in terms of pushing potential. And Empire doesn't really have that much. They have a Flare, which is great. Cogs, also quite nice to have. But that's only one hero. Weaver can try to counter push, but you want Weaver to farm. Enigma can try to counter push, but he'll have to deny creeps to try and do that. So that's not really all that ideal. But yeah, it's looking pretty scary, I think.
Yeah, their anti-push is currently pretty impoverished. The Enigma, of course, can do some pushing of his own. He's able to push really quick. They still have room to take something like it would leave them with a pretty weak dual lane, but if they took something like Queen of Pain, oh sorry, she got banned. Puck can clear waves pretty quickly. DK can clear waves decently quickly, and it gives them a little bit of tankiness. So this does give them someone. The only thing is, basically, this is the person that will always have to be going back to clear out the treants and just push back.
Yeah, and that, of course, will slow down his progression slightly. I do like that Empire has got 2 solid cores now. Weaver Dragonite, we've seen that before, and it's pretty strong in terms of later game. The question is, how much advantage can Menace get with their Troll Warlord and with the pushing of towers very early on? Because that's something that they'll want to have done. Menace, one more hero needed, of course. I'm gonna assume that's gonna be their mid. I mean, I have a slight hope. Oh, that was not my hope, but this is way better than what I was hoping for. As Vikermond dropped out, but he'll be back soon. The one hero that I was hoping for, I'm gonna say it, I actually was gonna hope that we're gonna have a Leshrac still as a solo mid, as we haven't had that in ages. But this is actually, this is an Elder Titan. And we've seen Elder Titan mid played before, actually last Sunday, and it was Elder Titan mid was by an Asian team. I believe it even was Menace, but I'm not entirely sure. But this is an Elder Titan that is gonna be going mid for Menace here, and that is gonna be rounding up our lineup. We're gonna wait for Vikermond to be back, but he should be back here soon. Of course, you are watching StarSeries. This is a season 7. It is day number 7, and we are in game number 1 of the 5 games that we're gonna see today. An Elder Titan solo mid. That's a brilliant way to start off with. Welcome back.
Good to be back. Sorry about that. I think it's actually a Skype issue of some sort, but I'll try to figure it out later.
We could try calling on Steam.
Do you want to? We could try it.
It's actually decent quality apart from the amazingly annoying sound it makes when I call you.
Well, I love amazingly annoying sounds, so let's go ahead and try that.
Okay, wait a second then. Sorry,
yeah,
people,
let's
for
do the fight first.
Oh, yeah, oh, wait.
Oh no, Jerax is so dead.
Yeah, walking up to the high ground. In goes a Riptide, he tries to run for it. Has a Riptide on everybody though. I mean, one hero already down, of course, on the side of Menace, but now everybody low on the side of Empire. Dragonite will go down, Boogie gets picked up as well, so the 2 solo mids go down. Silent able to get himself away from this place, and there goes the Leshrac. He tries to go for a stun, but gets cogged in and gets picked up. This is 3 for 1 Empire. What a brilliant start of the game for them, for sure. Losing their solo mid, I mean, that's fine. Dragonite is fine to lose. I mean, he'll be back in the lane in no time, but having that extra gold up on all the other heroes that they have, that's insane.
That was really good by Empire. I liked the trap. It was a very intelligent place to put it because they knew. Lately, we've been seeing this. This was always a tactic, but we've been seeing it a little bit more in the last few days or the last week of Starladder or so. Is when you know there's a strong jungler on the other team like Enigma, and they're on Dire, we very frequently see this camp blocked with the ward here. And there's really only one route to do that from Radiant side, which is this. So that's why Empire camps out here and just immediately kills Jerax. After Jerax is down, the fight is already very difficult. Troll is also an extremely bad level 1 clasher, because he generally only has what he had, which is the slow.
And it doesn't really slow that much either.
It doesn't. It really does almost nothing, plus he does fairly poor damage. Once Troll is level 2, he's a perfectly fine clasher, because he has both Whirling Axes, and he's able to go into melee, which he does more DPS in. But at level 1, he's just not great. They might pick off the courier, too. Poor Kupu, or whatever this is.
I don't know, he's called Vaudikas. Well, we're gonna see Vanscore having the time of his life. Like, hey, there's a courier. Boom, sniped. Boom. That's gonna be a courier kill. And that is, I mean, if it wasn't a good start for Empire already, this is a brilliant start for Empire.
It really is. They'll be very, very happy with this. Elder Titan, a hero that really does want to have that bottle core access, kind of like Dragon Knight to farm up, so. I
do find it brave that Vansker just walks through a tower, you know, with his last tango, so he doesn't have extra regen. But oh well. He'll be able to be back in the lane and be happy. Are we gonna try the team calling?
Yeah, let's do this.
Oh, you have to open your microphone in Dota TV. Also.
Good. Oh really?
Yeah.
My mic's open. Okay. Well, let me flip it. Let me toggle. Okay, it should be working now. I think maybe.
Ooh. Let me see if I can call you. I don't find the right button. What the hell? Start voice chat. I'm calling. This is the most annoying sound. I hope you answer fast.
I can't even hear the noise.
Sorry, people on the stream. I'm gonna have to deal with the sound. Hello.
Hi.
I hear you. It's all very soft. I don't hear you. I heard you say hi, and then you got back. Oh, there you are again.
You're very quiet.
You are very quiet as well, sir. I guess we're gonna have to go back to Skype because this is obviously not working. As we have got to go on the bottom lane. We have a Clockwork getting picked off there. Troll in the end with a kill.
Still super duper quiet. Oh, Steve voice chat.
I hear you fine. Well, we're gonna have you and voice chat. Cool, so we're gonna focus on the game. We're gonna call him back on Skype so we don't miss more kills and we don't have to focus on voice things. We just can focus on the game. Welcome back soon. So, Boogie so far, he is 1-0. I mean, he died once, to be fair. There were a lot of people that died once. He is 18 for 3 on last hit, so we've got Scandal on 15 for 0. So fairly even mid lane for this one in the meantime. Boogie, of course, I mean, he doesn't really have that much kill potential, and neither does Dragon Knight, so this is actually a fairly boring mid lane. Troll and Leshrac, it's a dual lane that we don't see all that often. It should be going in favor of the Troll, obviously, because what can Clockwork really do? He already died once just now. He has to be really careful. Did pick up the cogs, of course, as the earlier spell that he had at the start of the game. But he's just not able to get that much
this mid lane is... It would actually be quite easy for Boogie, except for the lack of courier. And with it, it's a lot harder.
Yeah, maybe Naga Siren can bottle crow that for him. He actually has the flying courier in the inventory, but... Well. And then
gets it back in 2 seconds.
Yeah. There it is. And flying. And now Boogie needs it indeed. We have Nature's Prophet in the meantime, having some decent rune control. Spin picking up the Invis rune, knowing that otherwise Scandal would indeed pick it up, because he was faster. We have, of course, a safe farming Weaver on the top lane. That's what he is doing right now. He has got 3 assists. Didn't take any of the kills himself, unfortunately for him. But he's doing fine. He's 23 for 9 compared to the Troll, slightly behind. And also, of course, Troll does have a kill and did not die. So that's a bit of a difference there. But they're going to start pushing. So they're pushing against the pushing lineup. In comes a Nightmare up on the other Titan. Boogie, who tried to rotate to try and stop the push from happening. But he is now the one under... harassment, but I mean, he can stand here, that's fine. But is he getting more than he would otherwise get in the mid lane? Or is he just happy that Jerax gets some farm right now?
Yeah, I think they'll be happy to get the Naga Siren up a little bit. Plus, yeah, I'm not sure. It definitely isn't as much farm, but perhaps they thought that they can at least deflect some pressure. Now that Titan is 6, it is a little bit scary for Weaver. Like, you can see, Weaver actually is 33 HP and is heading back, so even just the ability of Titan to come in here and harass a little bit on his way back to the fountain is nice. And in that meantime, you always want your lane farm to be going to someone, unless you're consciously sacrificing the lane. So for it to go to Naga is fine.
Boom, there it goes.
For sure. I mean, I like to give the supports a little bit of levels. That's something that Empire, I mean, of course the supports have a little bit more levels, perhaps because they didn't die at the start and they actually got some experience from kills. We have got Vanscore sitting at level 4. Empire has also got, of course, a solid jungler, Always Wanna Fly, standing in for Empire again. We didn't even introduce the players, by the way, of course, because of the hassle. But,
sorry about that.
Yeah, Always Wanna Fly is in the jungle, so he's getting some solid experience that maybe Menace is not getting that much of. I mean, they have got Nature's Prophet, of course, who is farming in the jungle, but then Nature's Prophet can be considered an equivalent of the Clockwork. And Clockwork is level 4, who is now doing the nice block to make sure that the lane is indeed coming his way, so that he is indeed able to pick up some experience. But Empire overall should, in theory, be coming out ahead in terms of experience and gold for the laning stage, at least.
Yeah, in some respects, not by that much, honestly, but they should have a little bit of advantage. The thing is that Elder Titan, and we didn't really talk about this that much, but he's a quite good mid, especially against a melee who's not going to be able to just harass him out of lane. He's pretty tanky. The Astral Spirit is an excellent spell for both harassment and for ensuring that he can land last hits because it gives him tons of damage. If you take a look right now with the DD rune, he's hitting for about 200. This is an easy tower push, and because Astral Spirit adds flat damage, the Troll ultimate is going to be extremely good with it, especially in that mid-game phase, because you're already hitting hard, and now you're hitting very hard very quickly.
Yeah, pretty scary. Although I like Empire's reply to that pushing power of Menace. They just push as well. They just took down a tier 1 tower on the top lane and basically traded towers in the end. Of course, tier 1 is a little bit more important than one on the side lanes, but our mid is more strategical in that way, but still pretty nice. We have a gank attempt upon Mag. They know where he's at, and there goes the Spirit. The clap goes, he's slapped, in comes the ulti, and that is going to be Mag in a lot of trouble, but Always Wanna Fly coming in with the Malefice up on Sifla. He's running for his life. Vanscore TPing in, Scandal TPing in, Dragon Tail, and Sifla, the free farming Troll Warlord, gets picked off for his aggression. Nice rotation coming in from Empire for sure.
That was definitely very good defense by Empire. The other thing, of course, is that there weren't any creeps around. There wasn't things that Elder Titan could just use to get a bunch of damage. And additionally, Cogs made it so that neither of the melee heroes, well, Troll is sort of pseudo-melee, but still, they couldn't just walk up and immediately kill Clockwork.
You are still
They're trying to kill Silent.
People can still not hear you in Dota TV, by the way. Silent in a lot of trouble, by the way, indeed. He's trying to run for the Edict, of course. Pretty good in chasing him down. He is fast enough. He's got treads and he got the Shikushi. And that's going to be enough for him to get away.
He also didn't really bring too much detection to the lane.
Yeah, now only they realize we have got Lashrak picking up some extra sentry wards for next time.
I'm trying to figure out the in-game audio. Give me a second.
Okay. In the meantime, we have Sifla moving back to the lane. Let's just go over, like, real quick. Sifla on the Troll Warlord will be the one, of course, taking up the farming role. Nature's Prophet is played by Spin. We already knew that. Boogie on the Elder Titan. There's a stand-in KIH playing the Lashrak, and we have Jarex playing the Naga Siren, as he has been standing in for Menace for, well, for every single game that he's played in StarSeries so far. On the side of Empire, we've got Vanscore on the Bane, we've got Silent on the Weaver, we have, of course, got Stan and Always Wanna Fly playing the Enigma. As Empire's roster is only 4 men strong right now. We have Scandal on the Dragonite, and on the offlane is, of course, Mag on his Clockwork, who has been picked up only once so far. Has been involved in all kills that have happened thus far, which of course, in the start of the game wasn't that difficult. Jarex smoking up together with his Lashrak. Let's see if he can find himself a kill on Always Wanna Fly, who is, by the way, going for a fast mechanism. Oh, they find him. Looking for a snare, finding it as well. Is the Split Earth going to be in time? Yes, it is. Nature's Prophet Ultimate helping out Edict. In comes the Black Hole, but it's not in time. Dragon Tail still there up on the little Shrek, but in comes the Clap and the Sleep, and Scandal will end up getting picked up as well. Menace able to take 2 important kills here in the middle lane. Is not over just yet, perhaps, so if Vanscore feels lucky. I hope that he doesn't feel lucky, though, because he would walk in 3-on-1. Not all that ideal. And we have got a disconnect there. So that means that if Michael Kessler disconnects in the game, when he reconnects back in, you should in theory be able to hear him, but only after you switch broadcaster to a different language and then switch back to us, and then you should be able to hear both of us. Of course, it's up for test, but please test that when he comes back. I'm not gonna say if.
Yeah, I'll be back in like a minute.
Yeah.
I'm just the in-game mic isn't working at all, so I wanted to check to see. Yeah, it's fixed now. I'll reconnect.
Okay, cool. That is great. In the meantime, we have got Vanscore level 6, so he has got that Fiend's Creep, and he's gonna look to try and use it. Look to try and make something happen with that. And get himself a kill.
I mean, I would say that Menace are actually doing pretty well in this laning phase. Empire has a little bit of a stronger laning lineup, except Elder Titan, which is... Elder Titan can change things. He's a little bit of a wild card just because we haven't seen him quite as much. But the fact that Menace are doing well enough to develop Nature's Prophet and be even on kills, I actually think is pretty good, because there's going to be a point at which their split push becomes exceedingly difficult to deal with. And so far, Empire haven't really headed that off, although it could still happen. Nice hook shot.
Yeah, gets himself a Leshrac, and Leshrac will end up going down before he can actually do anything. I mean, that's the downside of Leshrac's cast point time. You just can't cast anything because you're just gonna put your hands in the air and, you know.
Yeah, none of Leshrac, like Leshrac can't cast either Edict or Split Earth because the cast point is just too large relative to the Battery Assault Interim. And it's one of the heroes that it's least fun to play against the Clockwork.
Wow. Dragon Tail in the mid lane, still stunning out Boogie as Naga Siren goes down in the bottom lane. Scandal doesn't end up committing on the mid lane though, but actually they are. In comes the creep wave, and from behind, in comes Silent as well. They really want to try and take down the tower and maybe take down Elder Titan with him. They just profit around here as well. They know Silent is here. They have to be careful. More TP's coming in. It's a troll that comes in. Berserker's Rage being used, looking for targets, but everybody scatters. And that's going to be Empire clearing out fast.
Radiant structures.
Yeah, also, Troll at this point in the game, only 12 minutes in, is not that strong yet. You usually want to see Troll with something like Helma the Dominator, BKB, and then he becomes pretty capable. But currently he just, you know, he doesn't have amazing stats, he doesn't do a lot of damage, he's got this good Whirling Axis spell, and that's about it.
And he tries to make up for it for going for a bit of a more early game item build. I mean, he's got drums, he's got his treads as well, so he can be potentially a little bit more involved. But as you said, I mean, he just favors more as the song comes in, and they are looking to make it happen here. Scandal is going to be the first target. His Dragon Form on cooldown, he tries to TP out, and it looks like and Snare comes in. And Leshrac with the last hit. It was Enigma that was able to back off, but the most important target, of course, did go down. They did use a long cooldown for that, the Song of the Siren, of course, but if you know that you're going to be up against a dual-core lineup, and one of those cores is going to be, well, not doing that much, because Dragon Knight is having a tough time here in this game, then I think that's going to be counted as worth it. And even Weaver. I mean, Weaver was doing great, he is still doing nicely on the net worth, but he is not coming out ahead as much as you might expect from a free-farming Weaver.
Sure. I do like that he's going Medallion. I love Medallion on Weaver. I think it'll give them a lot of sort of early capability, which is clearly something that this team likes to go for. But yeah, he's certainly not leaping ahead to some sort of very high damage item or even to Lincoln's or something. He's going straight for the Medallion, which means that Empire are nervous about the way the game is going, right? Like, they want to try to close it out a little faster than it's currently proceeding. The interesting thing is, I mean, Scandal will not be carrying at all, so it's interesting that Weaver has also chosen to sort of take an efficiency route when the DK has, as you mentioned, struggled a little bit.
Yeah, perhaps they also want to try and make fights happen earlier on to just get as much out of the mid game as they possibly can, knowing that their late game might not be as strong as Menace's late game. They do smoke up again, maybe just to go check out for Roche though, but they have got some Treants that will scout out that they are actually there.
So they have Medallion, so Weaver can just meddle the Roche and they can clear it quite quickly, even though it's been scouted.
And they're gonna actually have Weaver take out the Treants and pretend that he walks back again, perhaps?
Well, they can just maybe try to catch Jirax out. Well, oh, he has Invisirun, right.
Yeah, there's...
they do have a sentry, though, but it's gonna be gone in 2 seconds.
There's not a sentry.
Oh, right, it's a Crystal Maiden ward.
It's just two different sentries placed on top of each other. One that one's almost about to disappear,
right.
But
Inocula and Dix,
yeah. But
right.
Jerax could try to initiate here a fight here. Well, word not that his team is just nowhere to be found. We've got a tier 1 tower taken down by Troll. There was 3 people on the top lane to make that happen. And in the mid In comes Boogie, looking for a clap, and he gets Dragon Tailed instead. His team coming in from the back, perhaps. Mechanism tries to save Boogie's life. He is running for it, and he might survive. The armlet isn't enough. He runs for it. He clears out the bug, and he will live. In comes the ensnare up on Vanscore. Vanscore already interrupted his Fiend's Grip. Down goes the Leshrek. Down goes the Nature's Prophet, and down goes Sifla. 3 heroes picked up by Empire after they were able to force away Boogie from the fight, which of course had a big impact in story for the cat sounds.
Definitely. They took Boogie out of the fight. They landed a very good black hole. Like, they're using their ultimates very well in this game. And Troll still, I mean, he's just not going to be taking over the game. He went Blink Dagger, which does let him initiate on people. You can jump on somebody, land both of your Whirling Axes, and start your stacks. But what it won't do is give you any sort of carry potential. The item, I mean, Blink Dagger, one of the few items that has no stats or damage or anything else on it.
Roshan.
And that is a little early, actually.
Yep. And they have, well, they have the clap, and that's going to be Roshan killing off the Bane. Bane does buy back, though. Does being popped. Empire comes out and looks for a fight. Jerax already killed off. Boogie trying to do what he can. Has a spirit out. Always want to fly. Very low. Pops the mechanism. Everybody will be back up again. In comes a stomp again. Trying to hold everybody in place. That was a brilliant stomp up against 5 people, by the way. Allowing everybody to back off. In comes a hook shot. Gets himself Boogie. And with the blade mill there, Boogie will help kill himself as Silent takes the last hit for that one. Nice ultimate by Nature's Prophet. I mean, everybody of Empire very low. But nobody actually dying is, of course, not that great for Menace after all, because I think Empire can just go back into the Roche pit and end it.
Yeah, these fights are not quite as crisp as we're generally expecting from Menace. I like the creativity that they're applying to their picks lately, but especially that both of those fights were really not up to par. The latter one, I mean, I really like the Song of the Siren Earth Splitter combo. It does do a lot of damage, it slows people, but if you have no follow-up for it, it's just not going to win you a fight. And then if the rest of the fight is out of position and you're not comfortable with it, then what have you really gotten from it other than losing a couple more people?
Yeah, and they don't get anything on the bottom lane either. Well, the tower was almost dead, but it got denied in the end. And that is, of course, not something that you want to see.
Yeah, I mean, just look at how much Dragon Knight's net worth has grown. In the last 2 minutes, he's gotten about 2.5k extra worth of items. I think that's a full Shadow Blade from nothing. He was at nothing, and now he has Shadow Blade.
Yeah, and that's a pretty steep steep hill for him, steep item. And will allow Empire to continue the pattern that they have set to actually come out with the aggression coming up from their side, while we initially assumed Menace, of course, with their lineup, going for the more harder push, applying more pressure to Empire perhaps, but so far it's been Empire that's been ruling this game. We have them now also ahead in gold, 3k, even though they are a tower behind, fair enough, it's in the night tower, but still. And they are also 7,500 experience behind.
Yeah, and Empire's ability to push is certainly not bad. They have Eidolons, which are very good at pushing. They have Dragon Knight, who's good at pushing. If they get drums, they can help even more. I just noticed that Demonic Conversion has a pretty serious typo on the item tooltip. By the way, Eternal Envy, or no, Bone 7 style Clockwork build. We've got the armlet, the beginnings of the armlet.
I can't find the typo.
It says, transforms a creep into 3 fragments of Ngima himself.
Yeah. Ngima.
Selfless. Anyway, can we talk about Armlet Clockwork and how good it is? Because it's really good.
Sure, go ahead.
So, when you're ahead, people always have trouble, like, the thing about being ahead on Clockwork is how do you convert your money into something that actually helps you win the game, right? Because you can get Aghanim Scepter, and it gives you amazing hook shots every 12 seconds, but you run into the issue a lot with Clock of just hooking in and just dying repeatedly. So some people will go for Force Staff because they'll be like, well, I can get out of the hook. But Armlet is a really cool alternative because it actually gives Clockwork like a good amount of muscle, and Armlet is a ton of survivability because it, you know, the ability to toggle it on and off. So it's actually a really cool item. We don't see it that often, but Bone 7 likes it, and clearly Mag is going to play around with it as well.
Yeah, I think it was Bone 7 that I saw it on first last Sunday, actually. I haven't seen it since, but it's definitely a very good tool for him, and it makes him a little bit more scary. He's almost had it complete as well.
I think it's the correct snowballing clockwork choice, honestly. And in some cases, in early Ags might be better. But I think Ags is more appropriate when you're doing, like, okay, but you really, really want that 12-second initiation for some reason. In this case, they don't really need a 12-second hookshot, whereas they do need some extra damage because Dragon Knight isn't dishing quite as much as you'd expect. So it's actually amazing. Plus, when an armlet clockwork is hitting you, and you're like, okay, well, we have to deal with him, and then he pops Blade Mail, it's almost a catch-22, right?
Yeah, it's basically you have to then switch targets. You can't really use him as a target anymore because he really will turn into a tank. You never normally, like, that's like lesson number 1. Don't focus the tank first. Pick off his supports and then get the rest, but yeah,
and
that's a tough one there.
I still don't feel that Menace are doing quite enough, as much damage as they'd want to in these fights. Like, Elder Titan is a good damage source, AoE at that, but Troll still, is because of this choice of the Blink now going into BKB, it's going to be a while before he's really doing appreciable damage. Like, look, he only hits for about 108 right now. I mean, he's going to hit quickly because he has Fervor, but it's just not that much damage.
Yeah, right now Menace, they seem to be a bit indecisive in terms of what they're gonna do. We have some people waiting around in the bottom lane, we have 2 waiting around in the top lane, but they're not really farming as much, so they're kinda, like, the longer they're basically not doing anything. By the way, Vansquare is a pretty nice position for him. Oh, he gets counted out! In comes a Fiend Script though, up on spin, and already interrupted by a bash coming off from the Troll. Vansquare should be able to get himself out as the Nature's Prophet still gets picked up by the Clockwork's Flare. Silent now in the dust, tries to time-lapse himself out. Hookshot in, gets himself Jerix for Mag, and that's gonna be 1 support down. Vansquare still getting blocked by these Treants, by the way, that's very annoying, but in the meantime, there's already 2 dead, and the Troll decided, you know what, screw that, I'm out, and that means Empire get themselves 2 kills. Scandal on the bottom lane indeed picked up, that's a nice pickup still for Menace.
Yeah, and they didn't have to use Earth Splitter for it, they just got him down with repeated Astral Imprisonments, but, sorry, Astral Spirits. That was a really, really good fight for Mag. In fact, Mag has been having a pretty enormous game.
He is. He is. Of course, he got picked up very early on in the game, but that's his only death.
Yeah.
As
it's off lane, so it's not like it's hard to die in that off lane. And between 8, 1, and 3, these players, I mean, Bone 7 and Mag have really been showing us the power of the Clockwork in the past few days, and I really like this armlet build. I almost feel like this is going to rejuvenate the hero a little bit, because one of the dissatisfactions people had, I feel, was that he just doesn't... He's great at initiating, but he has difficulty actually being like a contributing core member in terms of damage output, and armlet bridges some of that gap.
Yeah, and on top of that, if you can at least know that you are going to be able to make it out of the laning stage without too much issues, as in, you know that Mag is not going to be up against the lane that has a ton of killing potential, then you can actually do that.
Right,
because you
and
can't...
in this case he definitely did.
Yeah, he definitely did. There was no, like, he died once, fair enough, but it was no death roll, death ball, tri-lane kind of lane coming off from Menace. As we have got 3 of Menace sitting in the middle lane. I mean, I feel like they're kind of, their initial plan didn't really work, so they're looking for a different one. And they're not really finding one, and they're kind of searching, but I'm kind of worried for them at the moment. They are getting more and more behind the way things are going.
I did too. He didn't find the Leshrac.
No, he does find Jerix though.
I don't think he can. Maybe he can.
Well, he's gonna try. In comes the snare, goes for the cogs, and with Scandal coming out and Vansquare stealing the kill, that's gonna be, yeah.
Really good cogs.
Nice brain.
Vansquare did steal that kill, but honestly, that's okay. Let's get Bane his tier 2 boots.
Yeah, that's 23 minutes in. Ah,
by the way, Silent with 5.8k gold now. I've been watching his gold for a while, waiting for him to buy something. I don't really know why you'd hold this much on a Weaver. Maybe he's considering Radiance. Wow, what a hookshot. Nice
hookshot indeed. Gets himself Boogie, and Boogie already used the mech. Still gets dropped so fast. Down goes the Weaver as well, though, and now Mag in a lot of trouble, trying to run away. In comes the Leshrac. Can he get a stun off in time, or does he have... Yeah, he can get the stun off. There we go. And he gets the monster kill streak gold for that as well. So 776 gold going the way of
there is a tier 2 being traded for it, though.
Radiant's middle tower.
Yeah, also tier 2 on the top lane, getting a little bit harassed by Nature's Prophet, but indeed the tier 1 mid or tier 2 mid goes down.
Yeah.
Still something nice for Empire.
Yeah, and that was pretty good for Menace though. Like, it was a good body block from Sifla. I liked how he sort of forced Clockwork to have to sit in the split earth area rather than walking south and avoiding it. And KIH, the stand-in, the 2 important kills for him, I think.
Yeah, I fully agree. So far, though, I mean, Menace also lost their Elder Titan. After having a pretty decent lane, he has kind of lost his impact, or at least he has still got some impact, but so far, I don't know. I don't see anything just yet what I couldn't have seen from a different mid, basically. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he does combo really well with the Naga Siren. They've pulled that combo off a couple times.
That's
it could
very
still
true.
make a big impact later. He's definitely a hero with a lot of strength. He hasn't, you're right, been able to make like an outsized impact, but it's a perfectly he's had a respectable game, I feel. Honestly, they've done less with the troll than they have with the Titan this game.
True,
and
but I feel
my
like
other
trolls...
worry is they're spending a lot of money on building these BKBs. Not that I disagree with it, just the fact is that this won't materially change the course of the game, simply because Empire have 3 disables that all break BKB.
Now, talking about BKBs, always when a player already has one, might turn it on very soon. In comes a stomp, BKB indeed turned on. Looking for a black hole perhaps, as Jarek's already getting picked off by Mag. And the BKB of Always on the Fly is gonna run out soon, and I don't think he's gonna be able to find anything. Oh, the Dragon Tail up on Boogie. Will his team come out to save him? The mechanism will be there. Boogie's still alive, but will not be alive for much longer. Down he goes. Fiend's grip up on spin, and now also Leshrac picked up. Spin picked up. 4 dead. And only a troll manages to live to tell the tale. That will be tier 1 tower down. Last tier 1 tower standing on the side of, well, anything basically. Last tier 1 tower on the map. And now only 1 tower left standing for Menace. And they were the ones to try and initiate. They were the ones who were the aggressors.
Empire are playing well. They're playing much better than... They played Aspera yesterday, right? And they kind of got crushed. I was watching that game and I was just like, this is just uncharacteristically sloppy from a team with a lot of players that are very experienced, some that have experience playing with each other, but it looks a lot better to me today. I think they're properly executing their strategy. One of the things they're doing really well is picking the right targets to focus during the team fights. Like, the Clockwork is starting on Naga a lot to make sure that sleep doesn't come off, which is... Once sleep comes on, you're in a lot of trouble because you know that a perfect Earth Splitter or close to it will be landed and you just start the fight on the back foot. But they focus the Naga, they always try to take the Elder Titan out of the fight. He's pretty tanky, so it's hard to kill him, but you can make him flee. Like, that's the idea of him going BKB, is he really wants to stay in these fights. And currently Empire just are not allowing it. So even though Always Wanna Fly did use BKB and it didn't come to anything, they end up with an enormously advantageous team fight, and I'm really impressed by how they're playing this game.
Well, one thing though, I mean, you talked about, or well, you didn't actually. I was gonna talk about something. I was going over something in my head. Like Empire's got a pretty good lineup in terms of chasing people, right? You've got a Shadowblade, you've got a Weaver, pretty decent though. Of course, I mean, yes. Clockwork with a hook shot. And I thought, well, basically, that's something that Menace should never be able to lose, because they've got a Naga Siren in one song and everybody gets out safe. But the positioning of Jarek's on his Naga Siren has just been kind of off. I mean, his song wasn't used because he was picked off. He went in so far on the wrong side, basically, of the team fight, got picked up for it, and at this point, it's starting to be a bit of a theme that he gets picked up by Mag every single time.
Right, right. It's a give and take, because they want him to be a little bit ahead of the team, because the song into Earth Splitter, you want to use that early in the fight, right, to get that big slow off for a large amount of time, as well as doing a lot of damage to start out. The flip side is, yeah, it exposes Naga.
Scandal, he goes for a Boogie, the Dragon Tail already there, Malefice as well, BKB's turned on, that's already one picked up. In the meantime, Silent trying to make Leshrac's life hell as Bane is able to pick up Jarek's once again. That is going to be 3 down once again on the side of Menace, and slowly, or well, right now, quite fast,
they can rush.
Empire's having their grip on this game tightened by quite a lot.
For sure. And now they're going to rush on, put the Aegis again, I think probably on Silent. He used his money to get BKB and Dezo. I love this combo. I think it's just so scrappy and really lets you have good mid-game fights. Between Desolator and Medallion of Courage, he reduces a target's armor by 13. So even if Elder Titan manages to finish this BKB finally, he runs the risk of just getting chased out of the fight by Weaver. Can you even remember the last time we had an Earth Splitter? Like, it was ages ago.
Yeah, especially, like one that actually had a big team fight around it with the song initiation. I mean, the potential is still very big for Menace. They just can't. Can't get it.
Yeah, it's definitely petering out. I mean, you see a lot of players having to take Now you have Force Staff for Nature's Prophet, like a pure anti-clockwork measure. Excellent job dodging the Dust of Appearance there. Like, that was a really solid play from Spin. The issue is it's not a solid play that's gonna, like, take them back. It just keeps them falling further behind.
Yeah, split pushing is something that Menace can still, of course, do with Spin's Nature's Prophet. He did manage to take out a tier 2 bottom earlier on, and now there's no longer any tier 2 standing on the side of Empire. Towers are back to, well, actually still one in favor of Empire, with the bottom tier 2 also picked up, but Menace right now, they can, next fight, if Spin is pushing on the top lane, they can try to maybe take something out of it in terms of perhaps some damage on a tier 3, but the question is, well, that fight 4-on-5, they're already now winning 5-on-5, so it's going to be very tough. Does Menace actually want to try and take a fight right now, or do they want to try and delay the game even more until Sifla has a little bit more damage items? Because right now, what's doing the damage for them?
Some damage from their AoE capacity, and then the rest is just going to have to be Sifla having really good focus fire. He does have BKB, which is actually a great damage item for Troll. He's not a strength hero, but just the fact that it gives him better time on target, so it builds his fervor faster, is a huge deal. So Troll with BKB actually does a lot more damage than Troll without it. That said, I agree with you, they still don't have that much going for them, unless the team fight really is just perfect.
Yeah, we might see Empire trying to backstab this Weaver already there. He is getting a snare though, and he time-lapsed himself out of there just in time, manages to get away. It should be just fine, but that's a downside to him having, of course, BKB rather than Lincoln's. Those ensnares will hit.
Yeah, I agree, but I like the BKB overall simply because a bigger deal is not getting nailed by Split Earth or Astral Spirit.
Or being able to stay alive during, or to stay moving during a song. Which normally, like, it's of course not really ideal to stay alive during a song if you're the only one.
But for Weaver.
But
yeah.
But considering there's a Dragon Knight with a BKB and an Enigma with a BKB as well, you know, you don't care about song at all at the moment. I mean,
right,
even Clockwork picked up an Ogre Club.
Right, as long as you preempt the song. Yeah, for Empire, I think stacking BKBs is 100% valid. The issue is for Menace, even though it may be valid, it's a lot of money invested into something that doesn't.
Hookshot on Boogie, he turns on his BKB, but it's already picked off. Here comes the song, but Scandal still up there with his BKB, will be able to pick off Jarex. There we go, one last hit. Ooh, nice stick charge juices, just in time. Whenever it's gonna be enough though. Silent, what are you doing there?
He has Aegis, so he doesn't even care.
Yeah, he's just gonna get sprouted up. He's gonna have his Aegis burned already. There we go. In comes a Fiend's Grip. Up on Sifla. BKB's turned on. In comes a Black Hole as well. Up on Sifla and Spin. Spin the first one to go down. Sifla trying to get himself out, but also picked up. Only Lashrak left alive. But also he will go down. The GG is called. Empire will take a game here in StarSeries Day 7, Season 7, and game number 1 of the day, and we're gonna see Empire again, so see if they can get 2 wins in a row.
Nicely played by Empire, really nicely played by Mag, I have to say. That game was all Mag to me. When your team relies on careful positioning to set up favorable team fights, and there's a Clockwork just ruining your position in every single fight, the game can get extremely frustrating, and I think it was pretty frustrating for Menace here.
I fully agree, and of course, before we jump ourselves to the next game, apologies for the inconvenience earlier on in the game with the communication issues, and for the next games that should be fixed, so, you know, bear with us, and we'll be right back with Empire, and this time they will be going up against, I will be able to tell you that, against Virtus Pro. Oh, I forgot it, yeah, Empire Virtus Pro. That's gonna be a good one, so stick around. Here we go.